The $1,000 Genome, The Revolution in DNA Sequencing, and the New Era of Personalized Medicine, by Kevin Davies. Narrated by Johnny Heller. Copyright 2010 by Kevin Davies. This unabridged audiobook is published by arrangement with Free Press, a division of Simon & Schuster, Incorporated, and was produced in the year 2010 by Tantor Media, Incorporated, which holds the copyright thereto. Introduction. Other than a terminal case of hair loss, Jeffrey Gulcher, M.D., had little cause for concern when he swiped a sterile spatula inside his mouth for a peek into his DNA. Gulcher was the 48-year-old co-founder and chief science officer of Decode Genetics, an Icelandic biotech company intent on harnessing the extraordinary history of the island's tiny, isolated population to pinpoint disease-related genes and develop new drugs. He might be carrying a few extra pounds, and his boss could be a handful at times, but otherwise Gulcher was in good shape. In November 2007, Decode had launched a new web-based direct-to-consumer DTC service called Decode Me. It was the first DTC personal genomic service on the market, and a test cost just under $1,000. Decode Me was not a genetic test for a specific disease, nor a genealogical foray into a client's ancestry, but a tiny sampling of the 3 billion letters in the familiar four-letter alphabet, A, C, T, and G, of that person's genetic code. Some variations from this sequence, an A or a T out of place, correlated with increased risk of common diseases, including cancers, arthritis, diabetes, and heart disease. For less than the price of a flat-screen TV, anyone could read their hereditary horoscope. No prescription required. Gulcher followed the same simple directions he demonstrated in a YouTube video. From his cheek swab, Decode purified his DNA and analyzed some 600,000 discrete letters in his genome. He was not surprised to learn he had a genetic predisposition to baldness and average risks for a dozen other medical conditions. But a handful of those DNA markers suggested that Gulcher had doubled the average lifetime risk for type 2 diabetes and prostate cancer. He addressed the former by purchasing a treadmill. The latter, however, was less straightforward. Gulcher's genotype, his genetic makeup, predicted a 1 in 3 lifetime risk of prostate cancer, and an aggressive form of the cancer at that. Gulcher's father had been diagnosed at the age of 70 with prostate cancer, but that was hardly unusual. Gulcher's prostate-specific antigen, PSA screen, was 2.5, normal if a little high for a man under 50. His doctor referred Gulcher to famed Northwestern University urologist William Catalona, the pioneer of PSA testing and a renowned prostate surgeon. Catalona had even collaborated on some of Decode's groundbreaking prostate cancer genetics research. Catalona performed an ultrasound-guided biopsy, which revealed that Gulcher had a grade 6 Gleason scale prostate carcinoma. "I'm not only the CSO, Chief Scientific Officer, I'm also a client," Gulcher joked the week after his biopsy. "This test may have saved his life," Decode CEO Carrie Stephenson told me in all seriousness shortly before the surgery to remove Gulcher's tumor. The tumor had been caught early, and there were no signs of metastasis into the bone. Had it not been for the Decode Me gene scan, Gulcher would not have checked his PSA. His doctor would not have referred him to a specialist, and the urologist might not have performed a biopsy. And while his surgery and attendant care cost about $20,000, Gulcher reckoned his preventative measures saved the American taxpayer about $140,000 in long-term medical care. Around the same time that Gulcher was swabbing his cheek, another personal genomic startup called Navigenics was hosting a launch party in the unlikely surroundings of the Soho district in New York City. TV talk show host Maury Povich was in attendance, supporting his son-in-law, David Agus, a Navigenics co-founder and a prominent Los Angeles oncologist. His co-workers affectionately dubbed Agus Doc Hollywood for his celebrity clientele. Al Gore, who had flown in just for the reception, called him a miracle worker. Agus admitted that he had received his own wake-up call by simply spitting into a tube and, like Gulcher, having his DNA analyzed. There is
Sample complete. Ready to continue?